What's going on YouTube? I'm JP, and today's video is about the evolution of zombies in Call of Duty. So first of all, it all started with World at War Zombies. Classic Nacht der Untoten. Pardon, my German is not the best. It was the original. It was, you could rebuild barriers without zombies reaching through the window smacking you. It was basic survival gameplay, and the first time I ever played it, it scared the shit out of me. I remember my buddy telling me, alright, we're going to try this new zombies mode, and it is terrifying. I'm like, oh great, just what I need. But I got hooked. You always get hooked on trying to find new strategies to get to higher rounds and all that sort of stuff. Then eventually they started bringing out more maps. I can't even remember all the maps. I remember, Shinonuma, Dear Rees or whatever, the classic ones. They started to introduce, I think just in the end, I think just with Dear Rees and stuff like that, they introduced the power, or the pack-a-punch thing, the teleporter, all that stuff. But I remember you always wanted to get the ray gun in this first Nacht der Untoten, which is probably one of my favorite zombies ever, of all the franchises so far. Yeah, the ray gun, and I remember the flamethrower. The flamethrower was a big deal. It was helpful with insta-kill and stuff like that, but after a while, when you get to higher rounds, you needed like a Browning or an MG42 or something like that. My favorite combo was always the MG42 and the ray gun. That's what I always found worked best for me. And also, like the double points and the insta-kills and all that sort of stuff, it wasn't like the voice and stuff like that, and it just had an actual timer of the seconds counting down to when it would expire for you. And obviously you had the classic max ammo and such, but it was just those basic insta-kill, max ammo, nuke, and double points, and that was it. There was nothing else for it. Alright, next up was Call of Duty Black Ops. So they started introducing this, the whole Kino der Toten. Again, pardon my German. It's not the greatest. They started introducing the different kinds of zombies. Like when you get into the theater here, there's those crawling things that frickin' explode. They work great when you're training and start taking out waves of zombies. And that's another thing. I found that this game was the evolution of the training of zombies. It started to become more about like more of a tactics sort of deal. You do shot knife or all that sort of stuff to try and get as much points as you can to get to the next room, to get to the box, to turn on the power, and then you just find a route and you just run that route, training and training and training and training and training. I find you had to use more perks, all that stuff. Eventually they added like the monkeys. The monkeys were a huge deal in Ascension. They'd come and attack the perk machine and take your perk away if you didn't stop them in time. And then I believe there was also little things in Shangri-La. I believe they started adding little shits that would come and disturb you and make your life a living hell. Speaking of living hell, and then hellhounds were also a big thing. The whole, okay, it's a hellhound round, use all your ammo to try and get that max ammo at the end. I always found the hellhound rounds were a savior, because eventually I learned that if you had Juggernaut, you could just run around and then eventually just shoot the dogs, because that's probably the best way instead of camping and letting them all come to you. Bosses were a big thing. George Romero, Moon, I believe. I don't know if Moon... Yeah, Moon was in this one. That was a big thing with like the space zombies and all that sort of stuff. It really changed the whole aspect. It gave it a little bit of a mix-up. The maps were a hell of a lot bigger. Like I know Call of the Dead was huge. Alright, next up, after that, is Black Ops 2. I find that this got more serious with the whole online competition sort of deal. There was a lot more competition between zombies players, between solo and survival mode and grief. Grief mode was a new thing that was added, where it's like you're all trying to survive, but you're trying to get the most points possible. And then the whole transit deal, the whole thought of like going around this huge giant map on a bus, building upgrades for the bus, having to turn on the power, having to get turbines and stuff like that. I never really got hooked on transit until I didn't like do that until the first map pack came out. I think it was Die Rise. Yes, Die Rise was the first one, and that I found was really what got me going on the whole large thing. And then I started playing Trans a little bit. But my favorite one, and probably the original ones, would be Farm, the one I'm playing on now. I found it was great for training. There's no pack-a-punch and stuff, but it's so much fun. It's nice and compact. You can dip and dodge around corners. And then eventually it built up all the way to Origins. And Origins, obviously, as all of you Call of Duty fans know, is where it all started, where all the characters met and stuff like that. And it ended up you could build lightning staffs and fire staffs and ice staffs, and there these giant robots overhead, and you had to charge up generators, and these like warrior zombies would come after you, and it was just holy crap. It was so much to deal with. And personally, I didn't really like it that much. I like the basic survival. I don't like to have to do this to survive and then do that to survive. I like go find my Juggernog, go find my quick revive, and then start working on my double tap and all that sort of stuff. That's sort of that was sort of my ordeal. That's how I would always run it up. Juggernog was always the prime thing. You always have to get Juggernog to work your way back up. In these gameplays, I wasn't really trying to get to high rounds. I was just trying to get the whole feel of how the Call of Duty or how the zombies changed through all the ages. Last but not least is Call of Duty Ghosts, which technically it's not zombies, but the Extinction game mode is technically a zombies thing, and honestly, it is the most fun I have ever had, both solo and playing with friends. It's not easy, but it's not super hard either. I find you have more chance of survival, and it's that aspiration of wanting to get to the next spot, setting up the IMS systems and the turrets, and throwing down ammo and buying the different guns and the whole money aspect of it, which is kind of like the survival mode from MW3. I find this really, it was cool. When me and my buddy first played it, we played it together co-op, and we didn't know what the hell we were doing. We didn't know how to do it. We weren't gonna know what all these different zombies or different aliens there were. Like there's the scorpions, and there's the huge ass ones that you'll see at the end, and there's ones that explode, and the whole skill points deal. I don't know. I love what they did with the Extinction mode on top of the whole Spec Ops deal, or squads, I should say. Extinction is a really cool addition to this game. I'm very, 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 very happy that they put this in. That's basically all of the zombies sort of deal. Like, yeah. It's exciting. I hope they continue with making these sort of mini games sort of deal. It's challenging. It gives you like motivation to try and do better and stuff like that. And I look forward to bringing some more Extinction gameplay to this channel, because I've really started to like it a lot. That's where that big ass freaking alien comes out of nowhere. I like how you have to like defend the drill, but you have to watch the zombies. There's a lot going on, but it's basically just like hold down the fort and protect that drill so it can drill through. And then when the helicopter comes, and this was the first time I had ever seen that giant rock thing. I'm sure you'll see it again when it turns. And these little bugs crawl out. Yeah, scared the shit out of me. I didn't know what the hell was going on. I'm like, what are these things? Why are they blowing up and stuff? But anyways, guys, I believe that's it for me. This has been the evolution of Call of Duty Zombies. Make sure you subscribe to the channel and follow me on Twitter. There will be links on screen very shortly, if not already. Stay tuned for more video content. Once again, thank you for watching. This has been JP, and I will see you guys in my next video.